וכולם מקבלים עליהם, ומלכות שמיים, וכולם מקבלים עליהם, ומלכות שמיים, וכולם מקבלים עליהם, ומלכות שמיים, ומלכות שמיים, וכולם מקבלים עליהם.
Shalom, Talmidim. Zman le'ivrit. Hello, students. It's time for Hebrew. Take out your Search the Sidra notebook and open it up to Lesson 2. The name of our Torah portion this week is Noach, and the scripture reference is Genesis 6:9 through 11:32. But before we begin our lesson, how was last week? Did you do your homework? Did you do just a little bit each day, about 10 minutes? Were you able to do most of your activities? I hope so. Hopefully you're not overwhelmed. Remember, by the end of the year, you will be able to understand everything in this book. And if there's something that you've had to skip, you will be able to go back and finish it. So let's keep our eyes on the goal ahead and take a few more baby steps today toward learning Ivrit, Hebrew. We have several vocabulary words this week, so let's jump right in. The first one is pronounced ele. Next we have Toldot Noach. You will notice that anytime there is a vowel sound underneath a chet, the vowel sound comes first. This is an exception to the rule. Generally, when we pronounce Hebrew words, the vowel sound follows the sound of the letter, but chet is an exception. That's why you see the ah vowel mark underneath the chet, but yet we don't pronounce the word nocha. We pronounce the word noach. So always remember that in the case of a chet, the vowel sound precedes the chet. Our third word is actually a name. It is the name Noach. In my book, the ah sound is missing from underneath the chet. If it's missing in your book too, go ahead and draw it in. You can look at the example above. Our fourth vocabulary words are ish tzadik. Next we have tamim haya, badorotav, et ha-Elohim. Do you remember last week that we talked about the Hebrew word eight? Remember, it has no English translation. It simply points to a direct object. In this case, it's pointing us directly to God. And our last phrase is hithalech Noach. Beseder. Okay. There were a lot of words in this week's lesson, but don't be overwhelmed. Remember, it is not necessary to memorize every word and its spelling. What is important is that you are able to recognize them and pick them out when you're looking at a Torah scroll. In addition, even though I recommend learning how to write the cursive, it is not necessary to overwhelm yourself with this task. For right now, concentrate on learning the Hebrew letters and their vowel sounds. In fact, at the bottom of page 2, you see a little hand with a pen. It says inscribe. I encourage you this week, as you inscribe your letters, to add the vowel points to that sentence. Adding the vowel points will help you remember how to pronounce the words. Let's take a look at the page on the left. Mazeh. What is this? This is a Torah scroll. You will notice that the Hebrew letters written in the Torah scroll appear quite differently than our text on the far left of the right-hand page. That's because in Hebrew, there are 3 different ways to write letters. 1 is book text. 2 is cursive, or the second column on our page. And thirdly is the fancy calligraphy text that's found in the Torah. But there's one more thing that's special and unique about the calligraphy written in the Torah. From time to time, it does not have vowel markings. It is important for us to remember how to pronounce words, if we can, without the vowel markings, because eventually, as this Torah scroll shows us, the vowel markings will disappear. As we close, therefore, let's read our Hebrew words and try to perfect their pronunciation. Let's begin at the top of the column. Ele Toldot Noach. Noach, ish tzadik, tamim haya, badorotav, et Elohim, hitalech Noach. Are you up for the challenge of trying to read the entire verse of Genesis 6:9 in a quickly fashion? If you are, begin with me now. Ele toldot Noach, Noach ish sadik, tamim haya badorotav, et Elohim, hitalech Noach. Metsuyan! Excellent! Good work! Talmidim, don't forget to do your homework. There are 2 full pages waiting for you. 10 minutes a day. I'll be with you next week. Shavua Tov.